Bonjour, bonjour et bienvenue pour ce 20e numéro de Good Morning Clemson. Aujourd'hui, on a un programme très chargé. Nous avons donc Pierro qui est avec nous ce soir en direct de la Belgique. Comment tu vas, Pierro?
Salut, ça va très bien. Je suis content d'être là pour discuter de Clemson et du coup de revoir Augustin comme chaque saison. Ça fait plaisir. Du coup, non, je suis content d'être là.
Ok, super. Merci, Pierro. Ensuite, on a Andrea qui est là en direct de l'Ohio et qui va partir tout de suite après l'émission direction Clemson, comme d'habitude. Bonjour, Andrea. Comment tu vas?
Bonjour, ça va. Pas mal. Encore.
Et
Mais
on
demain,
accueille. Ouais, ça va être compliqué. Ça va être compliqué. Et on accueille Augustin, donc Notre-Dame FR sur Twitter. Voilà, vous le connaissez. Membre aussi de la team The Trick Play. Et du coup, voilà, vous connaissez, je ne vais pas vous le présenter pour ceux qui connaissent le college football. Je vais faire rentrer Suzy parce que je vois qu'elle est dans le salon d'attente, donc je ne vais pas la faire attendre non plus trop longtemps. Andrea, je te laisse traduire qu'on fait la preview de Notre-Dame et puis qu'on la reprend après, qu'on discute après avec elle.
je vais essayer. Okay.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
Susan.
Hi. How are you?
Good. Jojo, Pierro, Augustine. Augustine is from Notre Dame, France. So
Okay. Okay.
So
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. It's good to meet you too.
So we will start with because Augustine has to leave soon. We will start with a preview of Notre Dame and Clemson for tomorrow in French. So I will send you stuff.
I'm sorry. I'm switching my view. Sorry.
That's okay. I will send you stuff in Twitter on what kind of a synopsis of what we're saying.
All
and
right.
Then we'll switch to English.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
Well, I switched and then I didn't get everybody there. Hold on. There. We're good now. I just have to watch my hands. I'm in my car.
Be safe.
Well, I'm stopped on the side of the road, but I'm also on a rural road in South Carolina and stopped at a Dollar General. So, don't know if you know anything about that, Andrea, but
Yeah. Be safe.
notorious
Lock
for
your
being
doors.
robbed. So,
Okay.
I'm good though. Doors are locked.
Okay. We're ready.
Okay. On peut y aller? C'est tout bon?
On est prêt.
Ok. Donc, pour ceux qui connaissent un peu le college football, voilà, Notre-Dame, c'est situé juste en dessous de Chicago, entre Chicago et Cleveland. Gus, tu m'arrêtes s'il y a une erreur tout de suite. Voilà, c'est South Bend, exactement où ça se trouve. Voilà, vous avez une petite photo du stade, voilà, c'est à 10 heures de Clemson en voiture, à quasiment 11 heures même. Voilà, c'est pas la porte à côté. Aux États-Unis, c'est une échelle encore largement réduite, donc ça va encore. Voilà, je reviens un petit peu sur l'historique. Voilà, il y a 8 rencontres qui se sont déroulées depuis 1977. La première rencontre, Notre-Dame l'avait remportée. En 1979, Clemson remporte le match. Après, il y a eu plus de rencontres depuis 2015. Donc, Clemson a remporté 24-22 en 2015. Clemson a remporté aussi le match au Cotton Bowl en demi-finale de college football 30-3. Je pense à un mauvais souvenir pour Gus à l'époque en 2018. Notre-Dame ensuite a remporté le match en 2020. Et en 2020, c'est marqué championnat ICC. Je pense que c'est l'année Covid. Vous étiez rattaché à la ICC, c'est pour ça que c'est marqué championnat ICC. On a remporté le match 34-10.
On avait gagné le match de saison régulière face à Clemson, qui était classé numéro 1 avec DJ Ugalele. Et quand Trevor Lawrence était revenu pour la finale, on avait pris l'eau, victoire de Clemson 34-10.
C'est ça, voilà, c'est ça. Et cette année, voilà. Et ensuite, l'année dernière, gros match de Notre-Dame, qu'on jouait vraiment un match vraiment complet de A à Z, ce qui a permis de remporter le match 35-14, où on a commencé à faire, l'équipe a commencé à plonger à ce moment-là, la saison passée, par rapport on va pas dire mauvaise saison, mais une saison moyenne à Clemson la saison passée. Depuis la défaite de Notre-Dame, c'est là qu'on a commencé un peu à baisser au niveau, parce que je crois que quand on vous rencontre, on est bien classé à les people, et après, on descend. Ouais, c'est ça. Et là, du coup, on va rentrer carrément dans la preview du match de temps, parce que voilà, Gus, je ne vais pas faire perdre de temps ce soir. Donc, vous êtes à 7 en ce moment. Clemson est à 4-4. Donc, vous avez perdu 2 matchs. Celui contre Ohio State, à la toute fin de match, vraiment, Ohio State remporte ce match. Voilà, on va pas remuer le couteau dans la plaie, parce que je pense que c'est vraiment voilà, ça a été dommage pour vous. Et vous perdez ce match à Louisville qui impacte un peu votre bilan, parce que ce match à Louisville, on va dire que c'est vraiment dommage de perdre ce match-là, alors que je t'ai entendu le dire cette semaine dans le podcast, Louisville, voilà, c'est pas une équipe qu'on attendait, mais c'est une équipe plus forte qu'on ne pensait. Et voilà, vous seriez à 7-1, je pense que vous seriez vraiment, c'est beaucoup plus haut au classement et People et au classement du comité. Mais voilà, la saison, elle est comme ça. Malgré tout, c'est quand même une saison pour toi. T'en penses quoi, Augustin, pour le moment?
Pour l'instant, à condition que l'on remporte les dernières rencontres, c'est le bilan qui était, je dirais pas attendu, mais prévu par les fans. Donc, une défaite face à l'un des 3 gros, Ohio State, Clemson et USC. Ça serait Ohio State si jamais l'on gagnait demain. Et une défaite un peu surprise face à un petit, entre guillemets, qui est Louisville. Et oui, j'ai rien à rajouter à ce que tu as dit. En fait, le match de Louisville est arrivé à la fin d'une série de trop longue de matchs. Et je pense que voilà, mentalement, en dépit des erreurs de coaching, l'équipe était vraiment usée, et tu joues dans un environnement où c'est ton match en fait de l'année, et ton match le plus important depuis 2019, la fois où on était déjà venu à Louisville, et c'était un cocktail qui nous était trop défavorable pour qu'on puisse gagner. Et pour le coup, là, on souffre. Il n'y a aucune circonstance atténuante sur cette défaite, contrairement à Ohio State, où on pourrait en revenir pendant des heures sur les raisons du comment, pourquoi nous avons perdu et pourquoi nous aurions pu gagner.
Ouais. Après, voilà. Par contre, après, vous avez terrassé USC, vous avez quand même, on va dire carrément, remis l'église au centre du village, parce que vous avez vraiment corrigé USC. Vous leur avez mis une fessée, on va clairement le dire. Ça a été quand même assez terrible pour vous, pour eux, je veux dire. Et vous avez fait le match qu'il fallait. Et franchement, ça a été vraiment un gros match contre USC. Et moi, j'ai apprécié là, vous êtes remis le pied à l'étrier, et là, voilà, vraiment, vous rencontrez quand même, c'était bien classé à l'époque, et ça a permis quand même de remettre une grosse victoire tout de suite derrière pour effacer un peu le doute du comité ou du top 25, et ça vous laisse classer, parce que vous avez battu quand même USC et puis d'autres équipes, bien sûr, et puis la semaine dernière. Donc aujourd'hui, ouais, pardon, excuse-moi.
Non, je disais complètement. C'est la bye week nous a beaucoup servi aussi.
Ouais, ça fait toujours du bien. Ça fait pour remettre les choses au centre du village, et remettre tout le monde d'aplomb, et puis remettre tout le monde dans la bonne direction. Donc, on part sur là, j'ai pris vraiment ESPN, un copier-coller. Voilà, les match-ups du match. Donc, Sam Hartman d'un côté. Voilà, Sam Hartman, ancien quarterback de Wake Forest, qui nous faisait très mal chaque année. Il a transféré à Notre-Dame cette saison. Voilà, il fait une sacrée belle saison quand même, parce que 2126 yards à la passe, 18 TD, 5 interceptions. Voilà, c'est vraiment une belle saison. Je pense que tu n'es pas déçu du choix qu'il a fait, parce que voilà, ça apporte vraiment cette saison à votre équipe, à votre attaque, quoi. Je ne sais pas ce que tu en penses, mais voilà, ça faisait longtemps que vous n'aviez pas eu un QB comme ça à Notre-Dame, je pense.
Un quarterback qui joue de cette manière, effectivement. Après, on a toujours eu des quarterbacks très potables. ces dernières années, à commencer par Ian Book, Jack Cohn, qui étaient des très bons quarterbacks de college football. Enfin, en témoigne d'ailleurs le classement Weissman de Ian Book en 2020. Maintenant, il nous a montré ses limites, Sam Hartman, et c'est des limites que l'on doit imputer au coaching staff, au coordinateur offensif notamment. Bon, je ne reviendrai pas parce que c'est trop long, mais c'est un choix qui a été imposé par la direction athlétique de Notre-Dame. Et voilà, j'ai l'impression que ça limite un petit peu et qu'on n'a pas atteint en fait le plafond qu'on devrait atteindre avec une personne comme Sam Hartman. Et d'un côté, je suis content parce que forcément, on a une meilleure équipe, mais de l'autre, je suis frustré parce que je sais qu'on pourrait aller encore plus loin avec un tel joueur à la tête de notre attaque.
Bien sûr, bien sûr. Et donc, le second match-up, ils ont mis donc Audric estimé, votre running back à 901 yards, 12 TD aujourd'hui. Nous, ils ont mis Will Shipley. C'est vrai que Will Shipley aujourd'hui, Pierro, tu as des infos. Pareil, n'hésitez pas si vous avez des questions, Pierro, à répondre. Est-ce qu'il jouera demain? Je n'ai pas vu l'info circuler parce qu'il sortait d'une commotion, un protocole commotion. Donc, je ne sais pas s'il sera là demain. Mais voilà, donc le match-up qu'ils ont mis, et de l'autre côté, ils ont mis Evans contre Bo Collins. Mais on voit que les match-up,
Et
sont
là, pour le
plutôt.
coup, l'info, Mitchell Evans ne jouera pas. Il s'est fait les croisés la semaine dernière face à Pittsburgh. Donc, il n'y aura pas de Mitchell Evans. Et pour Will Shipley, vu la vidéo de son protocole commotion où il est presque mort sur le terrain, ça serait. Et je pense que Clemson ne le fera pas jouer, heureusement, mais ça serait criminel de le foutre sur un terrain de football américain après avoir eu une commotion comme ça. Parce que les images faisaient hyper peur.
Ah oui, non, mais c'est clair et net, ça fait très peur, quoi. Oui, Andrea, vas-y.
Beaucoup des blessés pour Clemson.
Marcus
Will
Tate.
Shipley a une commotion cérébrale et pourrait ne pas jouer demain. Le garde gauche, Marcus Tate, s'est blessé au genou pendant l'entraînement et sera absent pendant une longue période, probablement pour le reste de la saison. Il s'agit évidemment d'une grosse perte pour une ligne d'offensive en difficulté depuis la perte du garde droit Walker Parks. De plus, Carlin Sadler souffre d'une blessure à la cheville. Tyler Brown souffre non seulement de la blessure à l'œil subie à NC State, mais il essaie également de surmonter une blessure à la cheville. Tant pis.
C'est votre côté gauche de la ligne offensive qui est blessé. Bon, vous avez de la chance, on n'a pas un pass rush sur les côtés extrêmement dissuasif. C'est plutôt à l'intérieur où on est bon. Maintenant, je sais que ça a été un petit peu compliqué pour vous, la O-line, cette année. Enfin, je ne sais pas comment vous voyez. Est-ce que pour vous, là, dans la configuration actuelle, vous considérez que votre O-line vous désavantage, en fait, est un point faible de votre équipe?
Ouais.
Si c'est une weakness.
Cette saison, les explications de la catastrophe offensive actuelle sont les turnovers et le problème dans la zone rouge. Clemson est 24e au niveau national dans la zone rouge, se retrouvant totalement vide 12 fois en 41 tentatives pour un pourcentage de 70,7. Il y a 25 équipes de football universitaire qui ont un meilleur pourcentage de touchdowns touchés dans la zone rouge que le pourcentage de Clemson qui obtient de simples points. Ouais, la défense de Notre-Dame a été avare et ne permet pas beaucoup de grands jeux.
Bah, en fait, c'est ça, c'est que votre attaque fait des turnovers et nous, notre défense fait aussi des turnovers. Vous avez sans doute vu Xavier Watts, notre safety. Je pense que la décision de ce match se fera sur les interceptions lancées par Kate Klubnik. Et si Kate Klubnik envoie plus d'une interception, je pense que ce sera compliqué pour Clemson de gagner parce que c'est un match qui se jouera. Je pense qu'il n'y aura pas beaucoup de points dans ce match-là. Ça va être un match vraiment défensif. Et dès qu'une équipe aura la possibilité de rentrer dans la zone rouge, dans la red zone, ça sera très compliqué pour repasser devant après. Et on sait qu'en college football, si tu gagnes la bataille des turnovers, tu as presque 90%, 95% de chances de remporter le match. Il faudrait vérifier les statistiques, mais je suis certain que ça va se jouer là-dessus. Parce que je pense que votre ligne défensive, malgré les pertes de Brian Breezy, Miles Murphy, KJ Henry, va faire beaucoup de mal à notre ligne offensive qui est sur courant alternatif et qui n'est pas aussi bonne qu'elle ne devrait l'être. Donc voilà, moi je pense que si Kate Klubnik ne lance pas d'interception, vous avez clairement une chance de gagner étant donné que votre défense fait partie quand même des 10 meilleurs du pays.
J'espère que Clemson va jouer la défense en double tout le temps. Peut-être la défense va score points. J'ai pas.
Non, je suis d'accord. Je pense que Clemson va avoir un très très gros match de la défense de Clemson. Et moi, je pense que c'est quelque chose qui arrivera. Et c'est pour ça que je suis pas si confiant que cela. C'est que vous êtes en 4-4. Il vous reste qui comme match? Vous affrontez qui encore? Notre-Dame, South Carolina et
UNC.
North Carolina, je me lance pas de fleurs, mais je pense que le match de l'année pour la fin de la saison, c'est celui face à Notre-Dame. Dabo Swinney s'est beaucoup fait critiquer là cette semaine par rapport à ce qui l'interview. Enfin, je ne me souviens plus c'était quoi le contexte exactement. C'est le moment où les joueurs vont se réunir derrière Dabo Swinney. Et voilà, c'est tous les ingrédients pour que ça soit un match piège pour Notre-Dame et un match qui vous relance en quelque sorte. Et il ne faut surtout pas oublier aussi que sur vos 4 défaites, il y en a 2 en prolongation. Ça ne tombe pas toujours de votre côté, mais je ne serais pas aussi confiant que le sont certains insiders et fans de Notre-Dame qui pensent la victoire facile. Je pense que la victoire de Clemson est clairement plausible et je pense qu'on est plus proche du 50-50 que du 80-20.
Susan, what do you think for tomorrow? I think you're on mute.
Oh,
You're mute.
hold on now.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? I see the
Yes.
it should be good. Am I
We
good?
can hear you. Mhm.
Okay. So at the start of this week, my thought was I had 2 thoughts. One, Sam Hartman has not had a lot of good success when he's played in Death Valley at Clemson. Now he did very well last season when he was still playing for Wake Forest and Clemson was there. But he hasn't had a lot of success in Death Valley. So I'm kind of hoping that works in Clemson's favor, but who knows? He's a great quarterback. And he's one of the 6-year guys. So it's really hard to put a brand new sophomore quarterback who's only in his 9th game up against somebody who's got that much experience. So, that was one thought. The other thought was this is definitely a game that's going to be won in the trenches. It's going to be an offensive line, defensive line battle the entire game. And now we find that there are some holes in Clemson's offensive line, which had already been struggling. It has not been a good year for the offensive line. I feel like that has been the biggest issue with the offense. I know other people say a lot of things about Cade. They'll say a lot of things about the receivers, but I honestly think that offense starts right there. It starts with an offensive line. And if those guys aren't doing what they need to do to let your running backs get where they need to go, or doing the type of pass blocking they need to do, or protecting Cade like they should, there's going to be a lot of offensive issues. So now my two thoughts have changed. It could be one of those miraculous games where everything comes together for Clemson in a way that nobody expected. I will hold out hope for that forever. But it also, if you look at everything on paper, it's going to be an uphill battle for the Tigers. And as much as I hate to say it, it will take one of those really awesome, movie plot kind of miracles for it to happen for the Tigers to win tomorrow. I'm not going to say that they'll be in it. I believe with all my heart they are going to fight really hard. They'll be in it. They'll do everything they can. I don't think they're going to give up, but I think there's just a lot there they're going to have to overcome. And the main problem will be overcoming Clemson. That's, been their big problem throughout the whole season.
Yep.
Yep. Agree. Yes.
Yes.
All of the above.
Yes.
Je me posais la question, je poserai la question à Suzanne après, mais est-ce que vous pensez que le fait que Clemson ne joue pas un match la nuit soit un problème, que Clemson joue à 18h et pas la nuit? Do you think that playing at noon and not at 1 p.m. is a kind of weakness for Clemson?
So,
you talk about miracle game, and I think you should play at night to win this miracle game, such as Notre Dame Clemson last year when we played at night, and it's really something I value to play not at noon, especially when you have to make an upset.
That's a really good question. I believe a lot of people hoped this would be a night game. Clemson night games they're
Awesome.
incredible. They help with the energy on the field.
Yes.
They help with the energy in the stands. So it may have given them an advantage, but I think that same kind of energy translates to their opponents as well. And the more this, a Clemson team is ready, or, has that type of atmosphere and that type of electricity, then I think the opposition is going to come in even harder. I think both of these teams are incredibly competitive. They are led,
you play harder when your opponent plays harder too, and when you are so physical as Clemson is, you can win.
It's possible.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, it's possible. Clemson, like I said, they're not going to give up. They will not. They will not go in tomorrow with an attitude of defeat to begin, and the way they continued to fight against North Carolina State last weekend showed me that they are willing to fight about, they're just not going to give up. And a noon game, it's not everybody's favorite. I know the media, we love it because we're done. We still have an evening. We can watch the night games. We're not in the stadium until 2 a.m. But I don't know that the players love it. I don't know. We'll see.
Susan est un photographe pour Clemson. I told him you were a photographer.
Right. Yeah.
Ok.
Vous avez des prédictions? Je sais pas.
Dis-moi, j'ai pas entendu, pardon, Gus. J'ai pas entendu ce
Non,
que tu as
je
dit.
sais
Excuse-moi.
pas où tu veux en venir. Si vous avez des prédictions, moi, je vais bientôt ne pas tarder à
Ouais.
y aller.
Bah, je vais donner vite fait la parole à Pierro. Il n'a pas trop parlé pendant là. Vas-y, Pierro, vite fait, tu condenses le truc et donne-nous ton prono pour demain.
Je condense vite fait. Du coup, pour répondre à Augustin de tout à l'heure, ta question par rapport à notre O-line, en réalité, je pense que par rapport à Clemson, c'est beaucoup plus complet, c'est beaucoup plus large, plus global. Tu sais, c'est un problème de jeunes joueurs, de receveurs peut-être pas assez talentueux. C'est un problème d'une ligne offensive qui est jeune aussi. On a tenté Sadler, on a carrément tenté Sewell qui est un freshman. On a Miller à droite qui est méga jeune aussi. C'est un problème de nouveau coach offensif, de coordonnateur offensif. Je veux dire, c'est beaucoup de choses qui sont méga jeunes et qui doivent prendre beaucoup plus de temps. Donc, ce qui fait que on n'a peut-être pas le niveau espéré et du coup, ni les résultats. Sauf si on commence à dire, oui, en red zone, c'est compliqué. On était à ça de gagner tous nos matchs. Et du coup, on aurait pu très bien se retrouver en 6-1, que ça aurait rien changé. Mais, je sais pas si c'est 6-1 ou pas, enfin, soit. Tout ça pour dire que la O-line, en fait, c'est un problème sans l'être trop, parce qu'en statistique, c'est une des O-line qui a respecté qui a réussi à donner le plus de temps à son quarterback en termes de secondes, tu vois. Du coup, finalement, tu te dis, du coup, c'est pas vraiment la O-line qui a le problème, même si c'est plus global, quoi, tu vois, c'est aussi sur le run game et tout, et voilà, voilà. Et du coup, moi, niveau prédiction, comme tu dis, je pense que finalement, maintenant, on n'est plus le Clemson, qui doit absolument gagner ses 12 matchs pour aller en playoff. Là, on est à 4-4, on est éclaté. Donc, on est plus, en effet, un espèce de trap game pour vous. Et, entre guillemets, c'est vous qui avez toute la pression, finalement. Parce que moi, je lis des trucs comme quoi Clemson est encore... que c'est un match important pour nous. En fait, non. En fait, nous, c'est déjà foutu, quoi. Et je veux dire, à part, redonner de la foi en Dabo Swinney, mais c'est tout ce qu'on va gagner si on gagne ce match, quoi, tu vois, je veux dire, donc, je sais pas, je pense que ça va être un beau match, mais la pression, elle est de votre côté et pas de la nôtre, quoi. Ce qui fait qu'en effet, je pense que Clemson peut aussi vous voler le match, et du coup, ça va faire un petit match avec peu de points, je pense, parce qu'en fait, à Clemson, je pense que là, on n'a aucun match-up positif pour nous. Notre défense est bonne, mais votre offense, c'est meilleur que nous. Et du coup, de notre côté, notre point faible, c'est notre attaque. Et vous avez une grosse défense. Du coup, et notre special team, elle est pas terrible non plus. Et vous l'avez déjà dit, les turnovers, c'est ça qui va déterminer le match. Donc, je crois, allez, je dis un score un petit peu 19-14, un truc comme ça. Mais pour Notre-Dame, pas pour Clemson. Donc, voilà.
So Susan, he said Notre Dame 19 and Clemson
14.
14.
14.
14. Okay. So that's his score prediction, 19-14.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's fairly, yeah, I would say.
There
maybe,
you go. Voila.
Yeah, I could see it.
Voilà.
I'm thinking Notre Dame. I honestly think, Clemson's defense is going to do all they can to stop the run, which they couldn't do in Miami in the fourth quarter. But they're going to limit. They're going to do what they can to limit the run. They will do what they can to rattle Sam Hartman. So maybe Notre Dame can't get into the end zone more than twice or three times, or or maybe they stuck having to kick a few field goals. So maybe, and I appreciate, maybe there will only be a 5-point difference or a 4-point difference. We'll take it. I agree there. I do not think Notre Dame is going to come out, and I can't believe I'm saying they're not going to come out and just run all over the field and take advantage of Clemson. I think that they will find it more of a struggle than they maybe anticipated. So that's good. Clemson's defense is great. It's a fantastic defense. So I have a lot of faith in them. But Clemson's offense, if they can't score, it doesn't matter. And I love those guys. I do. And I love them. But you got to look at things realistically. And they're at a disadvantage tomorrow. Clemson is.
Augustin, I know you have to go. So
Allez, 24-21, so 24-21 for Notre Dame. And I take the under. So the over-under is 44.5.
I don't even know what the over under is. I didn't see, but I like the 24-21. I think I like it. I don't like it that you put Notre Dame first, but hey, it's okay.
Jojo, tu penses quoi?
Alors moi, vous connaissez mon éternel optimisme. Je vais dire victoire de Clemson 18-14.
He said Clemson's going to win 18-14.
Yeah, 18-14. I was picking up all the numbers, so I was like,
Okay.
hey, I remember numbers really well.
Okay, I'm going to do this in French and then in English. I'm going to try. Okay.
I was able to understand your French pretty well.
Okay.
So maybe I can hang in there with you, but go ahead.
Je pense Notre Dame 24 et Clemson 14.
See? 24,
I know.
20. No, 24-14.
24-14.
24-14.
Moi, je suis désolé, je peux pas pronostiquer une défaite de Clemson, c'est pas possible.
You can't pick against Clemson. Je suis un réaliste.
Right. C'est vrai.
Gus, si toi tu veux y aller, je te remercie Augustin, et puis bon match, et puis bon week-end à toi, et profite bien du match.
Bah, profitez-vous aussi du match. Allez, salut à tous, merci
Ciao.
beaucoup.
Salut Augustin. So, voila. Susan, what did you think about what Dabo said last week, his rant?
To poor Tyler from Spartanburg. I'm glad he said it. I mean, I think that he may have, and the next day during his press conference, he did go back and say some things that I think needed to be said as well, which is, Tyler's probably a great guy. And, it was just one of those moments that presented itself and Dabo took advantage. I think had Tyler limited it to maybe just some very football questions and not pulled in a personal attack, that would have been a different answer. But I also think that Dabo, I know for a fact, he's not on social media, but he knows what's going on. I know that for a fact. And I know that he has probably been a little discouraged with a lot of the stuff that's been said this season, and rightfully so. It's a bad season. Nobody's going to say it's great, but I think that some of the things that I have seen that people have said have been just over the top wrong. So I'm glad he got a chance to say what he had to say and to make sure he understood that there were problems, that he's not, he sees what's going on just as well as everybody else does. And I think it was good that he had the chance to say that as well. So I'm fine with it. It gave Tyler his 15 minutes of fame, at least, right? And you know what? If Clemson wins tomorrow, I've already said this, Tyler should get the game ball. Like, somebody find him and give him the game ball, because they were fired up over what he said.
There you go. Pierre et Jojo, did you hear écoute sur Tyler dit à Dabo cette semaine? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, but I'm a little bit surprised about your reaction, because when I read it, I'm like, I'm not for Tyler. Like, everything Dabo said is true. Like, everything he gave to the program about the education and everything he gives us, like every victory, like the championship, like the playoff wins. I think he can win. He can earn all the money Clemson give him, it's okay for me. So
That's
yeah, I'm a little bit
Susan
surprised
was
because
she was agreeing with Dabo.
Yeah,
Ah.
I was very thankful that Dabo said the things he said.
All right.
Yes,
I don't
yeah.
understand just what you said.
That's okay. Yeah, it's
you
okay.
are with Tyler, so
No. I think that Tyler said a lot of things that Clemson fans have been saying. And Dabo got the opportunity to say exactly what he needed to say for these people to remember everything Dabo has brought to Clemson University. It's not just football games either, or Paul Journey, or graduation rates. The economic difference that Clemson football has made in the area is crazy. There's an article, I think, in Forbes magazine a few years ago, about the economic impact of winning and what it's done for the Clemson community. So there's a lot that has happened that Dabo is responsible for, and he deserves every penny he gets, all of it, because he also has to listen to all of the criticism. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I just blanked out. Sorry, phone. But yeah, he deserves all of the money he gets, because he has to take all of the criticism. He has to manage a lot of things that people don't think about. So I'm all for it. Give him more. I don't care. I'm good with that. And very happy he got to say what he wanted to say.
Jojo, Susan a dit Dabo mérite tout l'argent parce que tous les gagnaient les matchs, le championship. Ouais. I don't know. Did I translate that correctly, Pierre?
Yeah, but I think Jojo is busy.
Yeah, I think his wife is.
Yeah.
Oh, I see another set of hands. Yep.
She knows English, and so she's
okay, good.
Traduire.
Sit beside him.
Hello. Yes, I'm the human translator for Jojo. It doesn't speak a single English word.
Let's see her on camera.
I know, she needs to see.
Sur l'écran.
Hello.
Dis-moi ce que tu veux dire.
Donc, je voulais dire, répète ce que j'ai dit en gros par rapport à Dabo.
So, Jojo think the same as you. He think that. Répète-moi parce que sinon, je ne vais pas y arriver.
Alors, vu que Dabo a tout ce qu'il a apporté au programme, oui, la saison, elle est critiquable, mais lui n'est pas, on ne peut pas le critiquer vu tout ce qu'il a apporté, tout ce qu'il a fait au niveau du programme.
Dabo gave a lot for Clemson program, so yes, he can be criticized for the last season.
Yes.
But we can't kill him because of what he brought.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Pour moi, Dabo est la personne qu'il faut à Clemson. Et
Dabo is the person that Clemson needs.
Il va comprendre et se remettre en question et pour repartir et remettre Clemson en haut du classement.
He will take lessons from his mistakes and put Clemson to the high.
Yeah.
Merci.
Thank you.
Pour le traduire.
Yeah.
Je voulais dire aussi un autre truc parce que à Suzanne, but I was surprised about the Clemson community because I follow you on Twitter and I see that you have some problems, or I don't know but with some Clemson fan that think like the portal, transfer portal, have to be used, and I was a little bit shocked. Like, so does a big part of the Clemson community thinks that, or it's just a minority of fans, and So, I don't know.
It's hard to tell how many believe that that the portal is the answer. I don't know if it's so much that everybody kind of feels that way, or it's just a lot of people who are very vocal about it. My argument to anybody who thinks it's the cure is that they aren't thinking about it deeply enough and what it involves. A lot of people seem to think you just go to the portal like you go to the store and you get whatever you want and it works. And it's a lot more complicated than that. And so I have a problem when people start saying, well, just go to the portal. Dabo doesn't use the portal enough. And I think, but you don't really know what you're saying. And you certainly don't know the impact that could have, that could be negative. So that's another situation where I feel like if Dabo Swinney has set a standard for his program and knows how he wants to handle any transfers or trying to find transfers within the portal system, then he needs to be allowed to do that the way he feels is right. He has such an interest in his players beyond what they're able to do on the field. And he even tells them, we will serve your hearts before we serve your talent. And what that means is at Clemson, they are going to make sure these guys are taken care of in all ways and are reassured that, you belong here. That's not to say they don't have to compete for their starting position, but it is to say that there's a loyalty there between coach and team. And that's really important. And I think that a lot of parents of these players and a lot of these players themselves definitely appreciate that loyalty. So it's just very, very complicated. I'm sure that Clemson could have been better this season or next or whatever if there had been this, that, or the other transfer brought in, but we don't know that. It doesn't work for a lot of teams. There are a lot of teams who thought they were going to do really well this season, brought in portal, transfer students, didn't go the way they hoped. So, it's one of those things that you can't prove one way or the other for one school.
Do you think when you look back on, the times of the last two championships, Deshaun, Trevor, and now there are two things that are very different in the culture. The portal and NIL.
Yep.
And I know they're complicated.
Yep.
But I think that's really changed college football so much that it looks very different this season.
I agree with you 100% on that. And now with conference realignment, I think college football right now is very unstable. And I don't mean it's going to fall apart tomorrow. I just mean there's so much in transition. It's very, I hate to use the word fluid, but nothing seems to be very rigid. The NCAA, when they made their rules about the NIL saying, okay, well, universities can handle it the way they want to. That was basically, to me, them saying, okay, you can have what you want. We're taking our hands off of it. Good luck. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like they just weren't going to be involved at all for a reason. And they should have been. There should have been a few more guidelines put in place. And as far as transfer portal, absolutely any student who is unhappy in their situation should be allowed to transfer. They should be allowed to do that without penalty. But when it has become what it is now with
the combination of the two,
thousands of kids still in that transfer portal, a lot of students being misled about what that means. And I don't mean misled, I'm sorry, misinformed is a better. I don't know that all colleges and universities are very good at informing these guys what that could mean for them, that they could end up not playing ever again. So I just feel like it was just too much too soon without enough regulation, and it's created an unstable atmosphere. Part of me thinks that Dabo is probably understood that pretty well from the outset and maybe wanted to hold off and wait and see how these things kind of shake out. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think that his approach is definitely not common. It's unique to Clemson in a lot of ways, and it fits the culture that he's already built there.
Agree.
Yeah. So.
Jojo.
Alors, est-ce que pour Suzanne, est-ce qu'il y a eu des choses de dites sur rester sur la conférence ACC ou par rapport au ralignement qu'il y a dans le college football, est-ce qu'il faudrait que Clemson intègre une autre conférence?
So,
It's about conference, right? ACC.
Uh-huh.
yes.
Got that.
Jojo wants to know if Clemson can stay on ICC
ACC,
or if maybe, for your opinion, Clemson needs to go on another conference.
I would like to see them go to another conference. I don't think I want to see them go to the SEC. I would love to see them in the Big Ten.
Me too.
Yeah. I feel like the SEC. Yeah, I would love for Clemson to be playing against those teams because there's always been that kind of stigma that had followed Clemson, even when they were doing well and their national championships were both against Alabama. There was always this, the ACC is so easy. And this year the ACC has not, it's got its top teams, which have been great, but then there's this big drop off from the top teams to the rest. And, so, I would love to see, I would either love to see the ACC become far more competitive within itself, or I would love to see Clemson leave. I think it's time. I don't like the addition of 3 teams that are so far away. You've got 2 on the West Coast and 1 in Texas. They are so far away, and so it's harder for students to travel. It's harder on the staff. I don't like that aspect. When the schedule came out this week, which is, I think, through 2026, it may be even further than that, I didn't like any of it because they took a lot of Clemson's, a lot of their rivals away.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech out,
Yeah.
more rival. NC State, not really good. So, and that really was like, what was the purpose of that? It just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But for Clemson to get out, or for Florida State to get out, or North Carolina, they're going to have a whole lot of money because of those TV rights. So I don't know.
So I want Big Ten because I'm selfish and I want to go not very far to see Clemson play.
Right.
But also, you're right. The SEC is very snobby.
A little bit elitist.
Not that the Big Ten isn't, but
I feel like I feel like there's a little more common ground, and that's a weird thing to say. But I feel like, Big Ten is a little more blue collar, maybe.
The Midwest and the South are similar. Very
similar. And even though the South, SEC is Southern schools, it is a very different type of Southern. It is old money Southern. It is high tradition Southern, that's great, but it's a little different than Clemson, which has always been pretty blue collar, agricultural school. And so I do feel like they would fit in. Plus, they would get to play Ohio State.
And that's always fun.
Like maybe on the yearly. That would be fantastic. I would love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Pierre, what do you think?
What's a blue color?
Blue collar, industrial. Not pretentious. Sans pretentious.
All right.
Do you like how I say things exactly the
Sans
same, only
prétention.
with a little different accent?
I love it. That's my favorite area. It's like, I'm going to say this in English with a French accent, and voila. There it is. Everybody understands now. That's how I do too.
If I don't know a word in French, I'll just say it in English with a French accent and hope
Works.
I don't get caught. I always get caught. Always. Toujours.
It's okay.
Toujours.
Oh, man.
Jojo, quelle conférence tu veux? ACC, Big Ten, SEC?
Moi?
Uh-huh.
Oui.
ACC, Big Ten.
Either one.
N'importe
Okay,
quoi.
Comment dire? Tout ça, c'est de la faute de USC et UCLA. Comment tu dis ça?
It's
USC
and SCA fault.
Okay. Okay. So just as long as they're far apart. South
Yes.
Carolina. South Carolina or Southern Cal, USC. South Carolina? That USC? La Caroline du
It's
Sud,
confusing.
USC ou Université Californie
The Sud.
du Sud.
USC, Californie. He said that like it's all the fault. It's on USC and UCLA because they leave, so everything
It's all
explodes.
falling apart.
So
Yep.
yeah.
So for me, a lot of people ask me why I'm not more loyal to the ACC. And it's because I'm old, I guess. And I remember in the 80s when Clemson got punished by other ACC teams, such as North Carolina.
Mhm.
And I hold a grudge.
Mhm.
So I only like Clemson. I don't care about North Carolina. They can do their thing.
There you go. But I do like Mac Brown a lot.
I do.
I like Mac Brown. I don't like anything about Florida State. Never will. And so, yeah, it's really just, it's funny. SEC people will chant that at football. Well, the ones who aren't that great, like South Carolina fans will do that. But I don't ever hear that at an ACC football game. I never hear this fan saying ACC. It just doesn't happen.
The only time I've heard that is the newer ACC teams like Syracuse and Louisville.
Yeah.
And the new ones.
Yeah. But yeah, there aren't that many Clemson people who are excited that FSU right now is number 4. None of them. I don't know anybody who's excited and they're going, oh, ACC, yay. That's not how that works.
Un cauchemar pour fan de Clemson FSU numéro 4. A nightmare, Susan, is what I called it.
Yeah.
C'est drôle.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Oh, Jojo, vas-y.
Est-ce que pour Suzanne, Dabo doit changer d'avis sur la NIL?
Does Dabo have to change his mind about the NIL?
About
NIL.
NIL, yes.
Well,
good question.
he actually, Clemson has a very solid NIL program. I really need to learn more about it, but they also created an entire space for students, for their student athletes to use if they needed branding. So if these, and branding is a weird word, if they needed to promote themselves, then Clemson is giving them an opportunity. They have a space to do that. And I was able to go there in July. It's an incredible photography studio space. There's an audio recording space. So Clemson and Dabo are very supportive of NIL. They are just not going to, what Dabo has called, they're not going to get into a bidding war. And what a bidding war is like in an auction. You see something you want, you start to bid on it, and somebody else bids higher. And it gets to the point where it's so expensive that it's unreasonable. And I think that's one of the things that Dabo's not going to change his mind about. He's not going to go and try to outbid other colleges for specific players. And I think that's how it should be, because that makes me personally very uncomfortable. Just don't like that thought at all, that players can be bought and sold. It just doesn't feel very comfortable to me. And I shouldn't say sold, but they can definitely be bought. I don't like that, just the connotation that comes with that. But I also feel like if the NCAA is not going to put limits on things, and the universities can, I'm glad that Clemson is one of those who says there's got to be a stopping point. We won't go past this. We won't go past this boundary.
There's a comment that's interesting, Susan, going back to FSU and the transfers. Undrafted player says the last match FSU on the television said that 62% of the starters were transfers.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It will always depend on a lot of factors. A lot of the teams right now with a higher number of transfers have newer coaches. And if they don't have, like Norvell at Florida State,
Coach Prime.
Well, and Coach Prime, who is also a newer coach who went out and cleaned house, which I also didn't like, but another story. But, you know, even in Louisville, brand new coach, they're in a situation where they come in and they haven't had a chance to recruit for that team. And they have several leaders, seniors that graduate out. And a lot of times if they're coming in new, some of the old staff has also left. So they don't have relationships built with a lot of recruits like those, previous coaching staff did. So they don't have a choice but to try and fill those spots. And of course, if they're going to fill those spots, they're going to bring in the very best that they possibly can. Now, in the case of Florida State, I don't know what happened as far as Norvell just kind of saying, I'm just going to get as many transfers as I can. I really don't know the backstory on that.
I don't either.
But I do know that he has lost, or that Florida State has lost a lot of recruits to Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Miami, kids they thought that might be coming to Florida State that didn't. So I don't know if that factored in. I really don't. I mean, they're all competing for high school recruits. But then again, if you were talking about transfer portal, then they all are going to compete for transfer portal guys too. So it's, I don't know exactly how it all is going to shake out. I just know you can't take an NFL mindset to a college situation. Does that make sense? Like in the NFL, where you can trade players and players are legally free agents, it's a different story. But even there's a cap, and you're not going to be able to trade out your whole line at one time. But in college, where you've got high schoolers you're recruiting, you've got kids getting their educations, you have some. Then we had COVID year, which NCAA said, if you played during that year, you get another year. That has factored in and been very confusing. I can't imagine how difficult roster management is with all of those things. 6-year seniors and, trying to recruit high schoolers and trying to figure out transfer portal. So I don't look at the Florida State game as a mandate for anyone to have to get transfer students. I mean, it was worked for Norvell. It hasn't worked as well for Miami. I mean, they have a lot of transfers too. So it just depends on, you still got to have a locker room that works. good culture. You still have to develop kids. So I don't think it's something that's just a simple answer. It seems that way on the surface. I'll give people that. It certainly seems to be an easy fix, but I don't think it is.
Agree. Pierre, Jojo.
Vas-y, Pierro. Vas-y, Pierro.
Yeah, I agree, but in fact, I'm still shocked about what you said about the ACC. Like, I have to change my mind, I think. Like, I like FSU, so yeah.
Pierre likes everything. He loves the Ravens. He loves the Jaguars.
I do. I love that. I mean, it's awesome.
Pierre's a lover.
I love that. And I love that Europeans are invested in American football. That just makes me so happy. I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago and just happened to talk to a couple beside us. My daughter was with me, and they're from England, from Southampton. And he was like all about some American football. Like and so we just sat there and talked until my daughter and his girlfriend just went somewhere else. They're like, okay, y'all talk American football. It was great. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. He knows American teams. He knows college teams. This is great. So it's all right. I love that he's a lover.
There you go. Pierre even went to his first football game a few weeks ago. The Jaguars, when they played in England.
Jags? Oh, I'm so jealous. I still haven't seen them yet. And they're 3.5 hours from my house. Like, there's no excuse.
Aucune excuse.
None.
Jojo, anything else?
Moi, je voulais poser une question, autre. Je voulais savoir quel est le joueur qu'elle a le plus apprécié prendre en photo.
What was the player that you appreciated the most to take in photo?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question.
Would it be Bo? I know you're close to Bo.
Yeah, Bo is fantastic. Bo Collins. His family is wonderful. They're just people that you love the instant you meet them. And Bo is one of the most, it's crazy to me that he gets out there and plays football like he does, because he has a very gentle soul. He's a very, very gentle soul, very sweet, very wise. So of course I have a lot of appreciation for him. I have pictures of Trevor from when Trevor was there that I love, because I believe his NFL career is going to be incredible. And it's so nice to have pictures of him when he was in college. I will enjoy shooting pictures of Sam Hartman tomorrow. Not going to lie. Not going to lie about it, but I've actually followed Sam's career since he was in high school. He played his senior year. He played at Oceanside Academy, and that's right there in Mount Pleasant, which is probably 20 minutes from where I live. And saw him on QB1 when it was on Netflix. And so I've really followed what he's done, and I'm really excited for him getting the exposure he's getting at Notre Dame this season. I think he's going to do well. So in addition to I'll enjoy taking pictures, I will have a hard time pulling against him tomorrow. But, I have to be neutral on the sideline. I'm not going to pull for anybody, right? Right?
Sure.
Sure.
So there's a question in the chat. Il y a une question. How long has there been transfers in, well, you say it in English, and see it. So how long ago did they start the transfer portal? Was that 2 or 3 years ago?
Well, the transfer portal, it's always been there. It's always been
right.
an opportunity. But it was 3 years
only
ago,
if you were going to be
you had to be
a graduate student, right?
You could be a graduate student, or if you were still an undergrad, you would be benched for a year. So you would go to your new school, right. You wouldn't play for a full year. And then they dropped that. So now there is no waiting period. If you go to a new school, you can play. They did just shorten the amount of time that students have to say, I'm going to go into the portal. I think I've forgotten how many days they have now. It's shorter than it was, and it will make recruiting easier for coaches, all coaches. But I think it was 3 years ago that they changed that ruling.
Okay, I'll attempt to say this in French for undrafted player. We'll see. Pierro, you might have to help. Depuis environ 3 ans, il y avait une période doit attendre pour un an
Avant de transférer dans un autre programme. Tu devais attendre un an avant de transférer dans un autre programme. Et si tu te transférais dans un autre programme, tu ne pouvais pas jouer avant. Et maintenant, donc avec l'effet de la NIL, bah, tu peux transférer un peu où tu veux quand c'est la période des transferts. Et tu peux demander une dérogation même pour pouvoir aller plus rapidement jouer dans l'équipe. Voilà.
Ah,
c'est bien ça.
Undrafted player. Yeah, bravo. On peut compliquer pour moi aujourd'hui. Anglais, français, c'est je suis folle. I told him I was crazy.
Oh, okay. I got the je suis, but I didn't get this. Okay. It's okay. We all are.
Comme d'hab. Je suis folle comme d'hab.
Okay.
Which means come as usual. Are you going to be on the you're going to be shooting tomorrow?
Yes. And I was on the way to Clemson now. It's beautiful here today in South Carolina. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It is 65 degrees out, Fahrenheit. Gorgeous blue skies. And because of that, I am taking the back roads. I'm not on the interstate today because I love to drive through my state and just see all this, all the undeveloped land because I don't have that in Charleston. I love where I live.
Yeah. 65 degrés et environ 18 degrés Celsius. So there you go.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So driving takes longer this way. It takes about an hour and a half longer, but it's worth it. And I will stay in my brother's apartment this weekend, shoot the game tomorrow, work on photos, edit, and then go home Sunday.
Yeah, I'm leaving from Ohio right after this to go down and stay at my mom's. But we will be on the upper deck.
Okay, I was going to say we need to try and meet up.
Yeah, I'll message you, but we park. Gosh, what's it called? Right next to where downtown, that lot right across from Tillman. So I'll message you.
Okay,
Pierre.
Yeah, I wonder if it's easy on the road for a game day, like because it's a big stadium, like 80,000 people on their car. Is it cool, or does you have to wait on your car for 4 hours if you want to go?
Yeah,
You have to get there early, really early. Beaucoup de embouteillage. Is that how you say traffic?
Embouteillage.
Embouteillage. I can see it written, but when I go to pronounce it, I can't do it.
Embouteillage. Yeah, media is allowed to check in at 9:00 tomorrow, but I will probably get there around 8 in the morning so I can avoid all traffic. Noon games, it's harder to avoid traffic because people don't have as much time during the day to get there. So I'll probably get there at 8 and wait until I can check in.
The parking lots for tailgate opens tomorrow at 6 a.m. Le parking va ouvert à 6 heures demain matin pour un midi. Mais je pense on va arriver environ 9 heures. So I'll probably get there about 9:00.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's usually okay if you get there by 9.
Bon, ça à 13h. Qu'est-ce qu'elle préfère, Suzanne, le jour de match? Qu'est-ce qu'elle préfère, le tie gate, le match, l'ambiance? Qu'est-ce qu'elle
What do you prefer during the game day? Is it the tie gate, the game, after?
what's your favorite part of the game? Is
The
it
mood
the
during
tailgate
the game?
or the game itself or after?
That's a good question too. Before I was shooting on the sideline, it was always, I think, just the atmosphere. The game day atmosphere was so much fun. I mean, I went to my first Clemson game when I was 10 years old, and even then, it was amazing, and it's just gotten better. But now that I'm on the sidelines, I get to see something from a different perspective, and I can be in a place that not everybody gets to be, and I don't take that for granted. I'm very thankful for that. So I love being on the sidelines. I love being able to see players' faces a lot more closely, to watch their reactions, to really pay more attention to coaches, things that you can't always see if you're in the upper deck or even, lower to the field. It's hard to see all those things. And the disadvantage is it's hard to see the play unfold. Which you can see, but the advantage is really just being that close to the field, and watching to make sure you don't get knocked over. That's not fun, but I love that, and I love the media. The people that are in the photo workroom are some of the best people I know, and I love to go and just spend time. We don't get much time, but just to be around them, it's a great group of people, a great atmosphere.
So, another question. It's not too dangerous to be on the sideline as a photographer.
It can be very dangerous. My entire family, before I leave, because they don't always come with me, they all say the same thing. Please pay attention. Pay attention on the sideline, which I do, because, I'm not that big, and these guys are huge, and you just don't want to get run over by somebody, and they can't stop their momentum. They never intend. So you really have to pay attention.
Have you ever gotten hit?
I got hit, but it was during a warm up, and I have a picture of it. It's really funny. He's not at Clemson anymore, but he was he was in the quarterback room. He's one of those scout quarterbacks, I think. I don't know. But he was throwing. Oh no, I'd take that back. It was a receiver. He was supposed to catch the ball. And again, he wasn't a top receiver. He was supposed to catch the ball.
We lost you. Susan.
Oh no.
Oh mon Dieu. Oh là là.
Bah, on va attendre 2 minutes pour voir si elle revient. Mais franchement, c'est génial ce qu'elle nous raconte. Pierro, tu te rends compte sur le sideline et tout, c'est dingue, quoi. C'est incroyable. C'est incroyable. Bon, on va voir si elle va revenir, mais on va attendre 5 minutes. Mais franchement, c'est génial de l'avoir avec nous. Elle a plein de choses à nous dire. Elle a plein d'informations. Elle est en permanence là-bas. Donc, c'est sûr que pour ceux qui sont dans le chat, dans la tête player, tout ça, voilà. Donc, Suzanne, on l'avait reçue l'année dernière en podcast. Et voilà, on voulait vraiment la recevoir cette année parce que vraiment, c'est quelqu'un vraiment qui est incroyable parce qu'elle nous raconte sans filtre ce qu'elle vit à Clemson chaque jour.
Yay! I don't know why my brother keeps calling me. But I'll have to.
You're famous.
Well, he's so generous to let me stay in his apartment. He's not going to be there this weekend, and we had to do all sorts of jump through a lot of hoops so that I could get a key. But anyway, the receiver that was supposed to catch the ball did not. It grazed the top of my head. It didn't hurt me. But the picture I have is hilarious because it's right as he turned around see that the ball had hit somebody, and his face, he's like, and you see the ball. It's great. So that's one of my favorite pictures. But that's the closest I've ever come to being hit. Bo was really close a couple of weeks ago. I think it's a Wake Forest game. I mean, he was an arm's length away, but I saw him the whole time. Like, I wasn't worried that he was going to hit me, but he was right there. So you do take your chances, but you also, you got to pay attention to the game as much as you do what you can see through the lens. So, I mean, it's a limited vision. You can't see the entire width of the field when you're looking in one of these zoom lenses. So you just really have to pay close attention.
Susan, will you come back maybe towards the end of the season and tell us your wrap up of the season, what you think?
Sure. Yeah.
As a sideline, from a sideline point of view, and
yeah,
I'll tell you from the upper deck point of view.
Okay, you do upper deck. I'll do sideline, a little bit behind the scenes. I don't ask a lot of questions because I'm like, I don't know how much I really want to know. But sometimes I get tidbits that I can pass along. So yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
And I do love you guys, and I'm so, this is great. Y'all are just trucking along. This is really good.
They're helping me with my French tremendously.
That's awesome. And I'm just proud of myself that I can understand a lot of your Franglish there, Andrea. Like your Franglish. I can understand. And sometimes I can understand these two guys here. I can understand Pierro and Jojo, but only when they talk in numbers.
well, I'm hoping, if everything works out, in April to see them both in person. So, à Bruxelles, peut-être proche de Lyon, en avril, Jojo.
Elle demande si elle peut te voir en avril, parce qu'elle vient en avril en France.
Yes.
So you're going in
Hope
April?
so. We hope so.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
I'm also going in February to Nice, because I apparently cannot stay home.
Good for you. I don't like to stay home all the time either. If I couldn't travel from time to time. Oh, and so Andrea just like, I need to go somewhere. I think I'll go to Nice.
That's it. C'est ça.
Oh,
I'll teach you a little Franglish.
Some Franglish, yeah. I've been to Nice. I've been there. I
haven't, so I'm excited.
I was very, very young. I was 16, and it still left a huge impression on me. Monaco. Oh my gosh, gorgeous, gorgeous. So maybe one day I'll get back.
I know you're very busy, so I don't know. Do you have any last questions, Pierre, Jojo?
Pierro, vas-y, toi, c'est une dernière question, vas-y.
Oh, no. It's always a pleasure to have you. So if you want to come with us more.
Come back more often?
Yeah, more often.
You're always welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And
the door is open.
All right, toujours. Anytime. Oh, that was always, though.
I was going to say, that's always. Toujours. I know that one. Oh, by the way, I do have French on my arm. I don't know if I told you guys this. And I won't.
Let's see.
See it? It's a tattoo.
What does it say?
It says, Sur l'amour vaut la lutte. Sur l'amour vaut la lutte.
So let's see it again.
Oh, wait.
I need to see
wait,
it
hang on. It's really like, I don't know. Can you see that? I can't see if my arm's in there or not. There. Can you see it now?
No.
I don't know what the camera's pointing to. I can't see.
We can see your arm, but not the tattoo.
Okay. Yeah. So sur l'amour, SEUL, l'amour, love.
Okay. Only love.
Mm-hmm.
And
Only
then
love.
what's the second part?
Vaut, VAUT.
Mm-hmm.
La lutte, LUTTE.
Seul l'amour vaut la lutte.
Yeah.
Seul l'amour vaut la lutte.
Yes.
Only love worth the fight.
Yes.
There you go.
So
there you go.
It is. Oh, and my fingers are in the way. My favorite band, Switchfoot, wrote a song called "Love Alone Is Worth the Fight," loved the lyrics so much that I had it put on my arm. So
Oh,
in French,
put it.
in French,
Bravo.
forever. I do love
Toujours.
French. I love the
Toujours.
language.
Toujours.
Oh yeah, toujours, always.
Jojo, any last questions?
Est-ce que tu as des questions? Une dernière question?
No, thank you, Suzanne.
Oh, you are so welcome. Anytime.
And Susan, you know how to reach me. So I'm going to give you my phone number so you can just text me. So we don't
Yeah.
have to go through
Okay.
Twitter.
Yeah. Do that, and
Yeah.
we'll find each other this weekend.
Sounds good.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you,
And don't be a
guys.
stranger.
All right. Y'all take care.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao. Bye.
Go
Bye.
Tigers.
Ciao.
Oh yeah, go Tigers. Bye guys.
Bon, bah, Andrea a déjà quitté. Pierro, eh ben, on va conclure l'émission là-dessus, mon Pierro.
Je vais manger, ouais.
Ouais, mon Pierro, merci pour tout. Comme d'habitude, tu as été exceptionnel, comme chaque live. Je te remercie,
Toi
mon
aussi, hein.
Pierro.
Merci à ta femme. Hein.
On se dit à demain. Moi, journée tailgate chez moi avec un copain.
Oui.
Et voilà, donc on va vivre le match de Clemson ensemble. Donc, Pierro,
Ça marche.
rendez-vous demain à 17h heure française pour le match.
Ouais.
Match diffusion sur ABC.
Ouais.
Voilà, si vous avez des questions, n'hésitez pas à venir sur les Twitter, on vous causera. Live tweet en route, il y a tout ce qu'il faut. Donc voilà. Pierro, je te souhaite une bonne soirée. Merci pour tout. Et
Ciao.
Suzanne est vraiment géniale. Merci
Ouais.
Suzanne encore une fois. Merci Augustin. Bonne soirée tout le monde. Ciao, à la semaine prochaine.
Ciao, ciao.